Hi, everybody. It's Carl Gould here. Hey, guys. I wanted to bring you a very quick and urgent alert. On the line with me is Kevin Marshall from Better Office Solutions and Profitopia. Uh, Kevin is a seven-stage advisor client, an accountant, and a bit of an expert on the CARES Act. And specifically, what I wanted to do is put together a very short video that's going to explain a benefit from the CARES Act that not many people have known or really caught on to. So give me your attention for just a few minutes. I want Kevin to give you an overview of what the ERC is. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing excellent. How are you, Carl?
Really good. Thanks for coming on such short notice. Kevin, I wanted to get word out to everybody. I know the employee retention, is it employee retention credit?
The ERC, the Employee Retention Credit.
Employee Retention Credit Program, which is part of the CARES Act, where depending on whether or not you think you qualify, there are significant credits you could receive back for keeping your employees employed, even while you may have experienced a reduction in revenue. So, Kevin, can you just take a few minutes to explain? And then we're going to have this uploaded to YouTube, and we'll get all the show notes, recording notes, I should say. We'll get it out to everybody with your contact information and everything. But can you walk everybody through what is the ERC? How do you qualify? And and what are the steps you have to go through to apply for it?
So sure, I'll try to answer all three questions succinctly and quickly. It's hard
Thank
for a
you.
CPA to do that, right? Without getting bogged down in the details. But anyways, so yeah, what's interesting about the ERC is the ERC came out at the same time the PPP funding program came out. And there was really little attention given to the ERC because at the time that the legislation was passed, back in 2020, you had to choose. You had to choose either the PPP or the ERC. You could not do both. So then back December 27th of 2020, the rules changed. So there's a 2020 component of the ERC and there's a 2021 component of the ERC. And now the new rules state that you can actually submit and receive PPP funding and ERC funding.
ERC.
So brand new legislation. It's only been out, a short period of time, a few months. So now, and it's retroactive. So there's certain you have to have a 50% revenue reduction in 2020. So most people are probably not going to qualify for 2020, but it's worth looking into. If you think you had a 50% revenue reduction or cash receipt reduction in any quarter in 2020, it's worth looking into because again, it's just free stimulus money from the feds, from the federal government. Then the new piece of this legislation of the ERC applies to 2021, and currently it expires on June 30th of 21. So first quarter and second quarter of 2021. And right. Now the credits are now increased, the dollar amounts. We'll get to that in a second, but to be able to qualify, you have to show a 20% reduction in cash receipts for the first quarter or for the second quarter or for both of 2021 compared to 2019. So 20% reduction. If you qualify, then it gets into, okay, how does one get that credit? How does one get that refund? Well, there has to be an allocation between because you can't double dip. You can't use the same funding. You can't, for PPP and for ERC at the same time. So there's a very detailed calculation that has to be done that's users are specific to each individual corporation.
And that's where you come in, right? You have a look and say, where did you have the reduction? And from 2019 to 2020 or from 2020 to 2021, correct. You can help them determine not only do you qualify, but how to use or allocate the PPP money versus the ERC. You need to be very specific about it. And we're calling this urgent message to the group right now, because as we come to the end of the first quarter of 2021, this is a very critical month to determine whether or not you're going to have a reduction for this quarter or not. So So this
Correct.
is where you come in and you can make sure that you can understand if they qualify or not. Number
Yes.
two, how to apply, and very roughly, you can receive a credit up to how much per employee?
So the credit is $7,000 maximum per employee per quarter. So it's a huge credit. So one client we're working with, their PPP loan was $150,000. Their ERC credit is going to be $230,000. So the ERC
Wow.
is potentially higher and more money
Than their
than
PPP.
PPP.
Now,
But
is this a
again,
loan? Is the ERC a loan?
it's not a loan, it's an actual credit, or, and again, sorry, it's IRS CPA lingo, but a credit or a direct refund from the IRS.
Gotcha. And so, folks, so Kevin, is there, so you did this for a number of people. So one, you had a $230,000 credit, and I think there was another one. You did it for your company. You had 6 employees, was it?
Six employees, and my credit, you know, again, it's estimated because we're not even through the first quarter yet, but I'm looking at a $90,000 credit.
$90,000 credit. So folks, what's really important is, you know, again, this is very little known because at the time it came out, there was a lot of other noise about PPP and other items. And since you couldn't double dip, it was the easy thing to go for the PPP. But the guidance has changed and not many people know about this. So Kevin, does every other accountant know about the ERC?
That's a great question, Carl. I couldn't tell you. It seems, well, it's in the middle of tax season, right? So that's a problem. I would say, you know, the bigger firms are probably know about it and are working with their clients on it, but a lot of the smaller CPA firms just don't have the time or the bandwidth or the know-how to handle this for their clients.
Right. And you, for the clients that you've worked with, and I've referred you to a couple people already, they
Correct.
had accountants who weren't aware of this. So
exactly.
This isn't a knock on your accountant, nor is it trying to replace your accountant. This is a very specific part of the CARES Act. Not everybody's an expert in it. Kevin just happens to be. And on one of our coaching calls, it came out and he says to me, Carl, are you aware of this? Do you know this? Do your clients know about this? They really need to take advantage of this. And so there really are some significant credits that you can receive from the IRS. But I can't stress enough, time is of the essence. So folks, what I'm going to do is I won't have the opportunity to call and tell every single one of you one-on-one. So I am going to send this video, or I'm sending this video link out to you via email or text. That's how some of you receive this. I'm copying Kevin on it. Have a 15-minute call with him. And, you know, Kevin, you can walk them through exactly how to apply, you know, and you'll know, it doesn't take you very long to figure out with them if they happen to apply, right?
Correct.
It's going to qualify, I should say. And
so again, the window of opportunity, like Carl said, like you said, is now until the end of March, because the business owner, the CEO of your company, you have the ability to be able to defer billings, defer collections, because the way the law is written, it's based on cash receipts as long as your company is under $25 million in revenue. That doesn't mean you wouldn't qualify if your company is over $25 million in revenue, but it's just a weird loophole or a weird provision of the current law. Gotcha.
Kevin, thanks so much for coming on. I know it's late at night, Monday night, but we wanted to jump on this right away.
Yes.
It's K Marshall at betterofficesolutions.com. You see the his email address right there. And again, folks, what I would encourage you, Kevin, is I've known Kevin for a long time. We've known each other over 10 years now. He's a client, a good guy, knows his stuff. And I just didn't want any of you to miss out on this credit. And I know time is really of the essence. So book 15 minutes with Kevin, find out if you qualify, apply. You may already know about this through your accountant. If so, go for it. Make sure that you're applying, but let's make sure that you get the full ERC as soon as possible. So Kevin, thanks so much. We'll make sure everybody gets you're welcome. Thanks for coming on so quickly. And we'll make sure everybody gets the details so you guys can follow up. All right, everyone. I will absolutely make sure to mention this one-on-one when I see you soon. If not, in the meantime, please make sure to follow up with Kevin. He's going to reply to the email that I sent this out behind, and make sure you guys schedule a meeting with them. Kevin, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good night.